Herm and Schrader on the Dirty Mo Media platform from the middle of America in St. Louis, Missouri starts right now.
Okay, we're ready to go. A lot of racing.
You know, we've done this long enough that whenever I say that, then you kind of start the show.
Well, I don't never know what I'm supposed to do,
good
so
stuff.
I just start talking then. I just say something.
That's true. Dietz, how you doing?
I'm great. Been dealing with my allergies last week, but that's starting to get a little bit better.
Oh, Lord. That's what they say this time of the year. Everybody's got them allergies. I got these allergies.
I got through most of the year without it, but it got me last week.
All right, everybody. Before we start the show, Dale Earnhardt Jr. himself said, Herman, I want you to remind everybody that Junior Motorsports and Dirty Mo Media on Friday, May 22nd, it's going to be a fan day lineup for the Arby's stage. So at Junior Motorsports on May 22nd, it's Arby's Day, and they're going to have the big stage there. Starting at 9 in the morning, 9 to 11 is Sirius XM's On Track with Danielle Trotta and Larry McReynolds. Hey, at 11 o'clock, I'm going to be in town visiting my mama. So I will be there from 11 to 12 with Mike Davis. And Mike and myself are going to announce something new that will be exciting. That's from 11 to 12. Oh, my favorite show from 12 to 1. Bless ya hot with Dale Jr. and Amy Earnhardt. And then to finish it all out on May 22nd at Friday, it will be 1 to 2 door bumper clear live with Jordan Bianchi, Freddie Kraft, Tommy Baldwin, Carson Elledge, and Jordan Bianchi. Sounds like a big time, Dietz.
Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you, it's crazy what they've started with Dirty Mo Media. I don't know if there was ever a vision whenever Dale Jr. started the download. And, I remember whenever I was working for NASCAR, they would actually send me out to do interviews with Dale Jr. because I guess I made him comfortable because I sounded like somebody from Kannapolis.
You do.
To go from that to where he's at now. And the thing I think people forget about Dale Jr. is how smart he is. I mean, he's a really, really smart guy. And to see what they've done with Dirty Mo and to create Herm and Schrader and all these other shows, it's just amazing. And it's great that the fans will be able to go out there and be a part of it.
Yeah, I like the fact how much appreciation he has for the history of the sport. I question how smart they are.
I do too.
Because they made this show, but other than that, I know they got some really good stuff.
That was one of the first times I ever interviewed him. It was for a series of shows we were doing for CMT, and it was, about the history of the sport, greatest drivers, greatest rivalries, and things like that. And you used to hear a lot, especially in boxing, about a guy was a student of the sport. Mike Tyson and a lot of these guys had studied the history of boxing and stuff like that. And, Dale Jr., he knows a lot more than just post Dale Earnhardt Sr. He knows about the whole thing, and like I said, he's just a really smart guy, and I'm lucky that they asked me to help out you guys or edit you guys. I don't really need to help you, but I'm glad I can be a part of it.
He's not just
just
NASCAR either. He follows a lot of other forms of racing. Stays up with them.
Yeah.
So anyway,
one last thing I have to add about that is I think I think Dale Jr. is naturally smart, giving him credit, but I also think Dale Sr.'s daddy sending him to military school. Because, in the early years, Kenny, remember, Junior would say, yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
No, sir.
Yeah.
Always, and that's military.
Yeah.
Okay. Enough fun. Kenny Schrader, what did we do over the weekend?
I ran terrible at Peevely. You ran good.
I got outrun. I run second. but I had a good weekend. Yeah. You run 8th or 9th. I thought you got some. I don't want to run your division. Those 602 crates or those built motors, there's a pile of you guys. There's a lot of you, 30 every weekend. And my God, I'm glad you run that division, not me. It's tough.
Everybody's same speed. Obviously not same speed.
Right.
But you can't be off at all. You can't be off at all.
One last thing about that. I went to the Battle at the Barn in Des Moines, Iowa, and they were racing go-karts. And they said, okay, there's 200 of these box stock Hondas, and there's 25 of you guys that got a $10,000 motor. Well, the class that was the toughest was the box stock Hondas, because everybody could afford one of those, and my God. The B mods are like that. Everybody can afford those motors. And okay, and then of course I ran Brownstown, ran 9th on Friday, and then like Kenny said, I run 2nd on Saturday. So enough of us, but that's always in our schedule, so we do that. Okay, I'm gonna do like I do every week. And by the way, they say we're getting better at this, so we're trying.
Are they watching?
I think so. I think they are. So hello, everybody. So here we go. We know that this was one of NASCAR's greatest weekends in a long time. And that's debatable.
That's debatable.
But it was.
I wanted to hear why you.
We'll talk about. Well, okay, we'll just stay right there for a minute. Now, it's just not me, Kenny. I understand you can beat me up if I dream it up. But here's the reason they say it was one of the best NASCAR weekends in a long time.
Who is they?
Look at those grandstands. I had a guy named Tate Bomber. I'm telling you. I come with receipts because I know you're going to rough me up.
I'm listening.
Tate Bomber from Wisconsin bought my Ford F450 and my big 38-foot Featherlight. He's a brilliant man. He owns a lot of businesses. And of course, my microbiologist buddy, Eddie Balkovic, he is from down there around Pinehurst. Both of them said, when was the last time on TV that they showed the grandstands at Talladega? And they showed that loud of a happiness. It was Dale Sr.-ish. The crowd went nuts. And I didn't know this one. First time winner in ARCA. First time winner in O'Reilly. First time winner in Cup. First time there was a new president in NASCAR that's not a France or a member of the family. It was a happy weekend. So, talk to me, Kenny. Did you enjoy the weekend at Talladega?
I got to see Sunday's race. I didn't get to see Saturday's. I got to see Sunday's from TV. Talladega has had one of the better crowds all along, percentage-wise of empty seats. It was a great crowd. There was a lot of people. It was by no means. It might have been, now I'm talking, when you jam everybody together and put them in all the seats, it might have been maybe 2/3, which is great. It was good. It was amazing how when they changed those stages and we had people split up now in that first segment, I like that. We had our Talladega wreck, our big wreck, where...
Boy, did we. Yeah. 26 cars.
Yeah. But then maybe I dreamed it. I thought I read some place that it only knocked 6 of them out, or 7 of them out. Because...
they must have all been Fords.
Yeah.
Toyotas, they weren't there.
Yeah, it absolutely killed the Fords.
Yeah. But when they came by, to end that race, there was still plenty of cars to have a good wreck. which they did. It wasn't as big a wreck as it could have been, but there was still plenty of cars. What's the survey say? Get to that quick. What's the survey say, Kenny?
Okay. All right, we're going to look it up right here. Phil Rideout was just now texting me saying my new Mobile One coffee mugs are ready. Okay. Well, come on, Gluck. Wow, he's done a lot of... That's 5 hours ago. Okay, here we go. Says 53% say yes, it was a good race. 47% say no. That just doesn't make sense to me.
Well, it does.
Only 700. It's not the percentage. It's not the percentage. It's only 788 people. This is another story. Jeff has been complaining about this. Jeff Gluck has been saying, "Hey, my stuff's wacky lately." Because he's usually around now. He's around 10 or 15,000 people. So 788 votes. But hold on. Shows 181,000 people viewed it.
There's something going on there.
But regardless, everybody. Yeah, 181,000 people viewed it. And only 788 people voted. That's no way. Anyway, it appears to be almost 50-50.
Yeah, well, especially when everybody said it was fantastic. Well, wait a minute. That was just two guys that's said when everybody said that. That was just two guys
you know. What hey, you know what you remind me of right now? Deets, you know when you watch The Muppet and you got them two old men up there to all the time? That's Schrader right now.
I'm just giving you the
Damn,
facts.
You're in a pissy mood today.
No, I'm in a fun mood. I'm just giving you the facts out as what has been told to me. When you said everybody. Guy that bought your truck and another buddy. But anyway.
Well, yeah, they're pretty smart. But they're smart people, so I admire them. Okay, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I watched the race. I thought it was exciting because usually when you see a cup race, they show empty grandstands and everybody's like, I hate NASCAR. So it was really exciting to see the grandstands that were there, that they left. We understand they took all the grandstands down because we know NASCAR is failing. It's down 70%, and they got rid of all the grandstands. We know that. But I'm saying the stands that were there looked nice. It was fun. It was exciting. So with that being said, are you also mad that everybody likes Carson Hocevar?
I'm not mad about anything. And I'm a huge Carson Hocevar fan, which I've said that more than a few times. I would definitely want him. His Victory Lane thing, the victory celebration, when I watched him, I thought I saw a young Carl Edwards with the enthusiasm stuff. It made me extremely, extremely happy to see him win that race. For him to become the 13th first-time winner at Talladega, which 7 of them never won again. He will win again. He'll win again. I wouldn't be surprised, if he won again. He's been right there every week, so he doesn't have to worry about that, I do not believe. But no, I liked Sunday's race. Now, Talladega, they run side by side, lined up behind each other. Maybe 2, maybe 3, sometimes 4, but that's the way they run. And you get used to watching them run like that. And other than watching them doing formation driving, it's not real exciting until something happens, and then it gets damned exciting. And it sure did. Now, what amazes me is back in the day, it'd be after a restart, and we'd all be running in 10th, 11th, 12th, or somewhere around there. They'd start wiggling and things would mess up. Now, we've had it before, but the wreck comes from first, second, and third. So that's pretty amazing.
Kenny, you bring up a good point that I agree with 110%. Is in our day, our cars did some wiggling, and tires did matter at Talladega, and our lines would get messed up, and a guy be running 25th in 2 laps, he'd be up there fighting for the lead. And you're right, they don't wiggle enough. Now you'll see them wiggling, but they stick. So, I saw Carson Hocevar going into 3, coming to the checker, and he put a little more wheel in it and it wiggled. And I saw the death wobble, but it didn't go anywhere.
I don't think them cars are stuck. Those cars are stuck that good. In our day, we didn't push each other,
Yeah, true.
I mean,
100%
okay,
accurate.
All right, Bubba didn't wiggle and lose control. Bubba got pushed. Then he wiggled, and then he lost control, which, damn good chance anybody was going to lose control. But there's just no reason to think that they can run around there side by side, pushing one another, and not wreck. They're gonna continue to wreck as long as they're pushing one another, which I'm okay with it. I'm not out there.
I listen, and I'm gonna go there. I feel bad for Bubba. He didn't start none of this stuff. People pile that stuff on him, and
yeah.
What I mean, just Bubba. Okay, he catches a lot of heat for being Bubba, but
yeah,
he got wrecked. I mean, that's all there was to it. He got wrecked, but because he wrecked, it was his fault. And I'm just laying that out there, and everybody can complain, and I'm not apologizing. It is what it is, but you can't blame something on him that ain't his fault. And one more thing about that. If I would have knocked the hell out of you 25, 30 years ago, you would have, when we would have parked those cars, you would have come down and chewed my ass out. In those days, I had Dale Sr., the man in black, number 3. We were in what we called happy hour in the July race at Daytona. And we come in, and the next day in the driver's meeting, he chewed my ass out because I took him 3 wide because I had a run and I thought it was okay. But Dale Sr. chewed my ass out for taking him 3 wide in practice. So in our day, you're right. We couldn't touch each other because you'd wreck. So, yeah.
Well, still do.
They do. But, boy, they got to knock the hell out of each other to wreck. Hello, everyone. Race car driver Kenny Wallace here. With 128 dirt wins and 6 championships, we know our fabricating right here at Wallace Racing. I want to show you some of the best drill bits I've ever used in my life. That's right, can cut drill bits. And I want to show you on our fabrication area why I like these bad boys so much. All right, they come in a nice little tote here. That's awesome. Everything stays in that area that you want it to. Let's just grab a drill bit. All right. This looks like maybe a 3/16 drill bit. Of course, we got a lot of fabrication skills. Bam, right there. What I like about this bad boy, it's got a really good point, a better point than any drill bit I've ever used in my life. Brody, let's show them this race car. We're full of drill bits here. We got, drill there, pop rivet. My dirt car has more pop rivets than you'll ever see in your life. And we need these bad boys. I want to show you what I like about this. Watch this. Bam. These things are built to last. High-speed steel all the way through. So you're not burning through the bits every job. And the 135-degree split point means no pilot holes. That's what I was just talking about. Just pull the trigger and go. Bottom line, you save time, you save money, and you get the job done right the first time. Check out KNKUT.com. Once again, that's KNKUT.com. Use code DIRTYMO for 25% off. Don't mess around. Use what the pros use.
Can I ask y'all a question? Because so obviously, the talk has been about the post-race celebration and the fan reaction and all that kind of stuff. Kenny, Wallace, you were part of one of these moments, and the other moment I'm going to ask you about, the other two moments, you guys were there. So Dale Sr.'s last win at Talladega in 2000. Kenny, obviously, Wallace, you were a humongous part of that. What I'm thinking about is the reaction of the fans. So you start there. Some of Dale Jr.'s wins there. Jeff Gordon's win there in 2004 when they threw all the beer cans on the front straightaway. And then yesterday, were the fans still going crazy after that race in 2000 when Dale Sr. won it whenever you got out the car?
There's something that I do want to say. Somebody said, you guys came from 17th, and I threw a Tim Brewer on him. I said, listen here, Pard. When we came out of the pits, there was nobody behind us. So I don't care what number that was. We started last because there was no cars behind us. So we came from last, and that was the excitement, right? Because Dale Sr. went to the front. And yes, they went berserk when they started interviewing him. See, you went right to Victor. Kenny, I know you know all this. He asked me a question. I'm answering the question. We go to Victory Lane, and they put the interview on the loudspeakers, right? That's the way they did it back then. So when he started talking, the crowd went berserk because the interview was on the loudspeakers and the fans would stay because they loved him. That's the difference.
You know, Hocevar's had his following has just continues to increase. I think it would have been a big First off, his celebration made you want to stay and see it. I think the crowd would have been pumped up no matter where he would have been, what track it would have been. I listened to Cletus some on Saturday, and he says you should have to have a passport to go to Talladega because it is a different country, which it
Wallace.
is. You know, yeah. It's altogether different. So, I mean, the end of that race really made me happy, and watching him did for sure. Watching his celebration, his enthusiasm. We're going to get to see it a lot.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. Sorry, thought you were done.
13th full-time winner. Oh, I already said that. 7 of them never won again.
Yeah,
he will.
Yeah, but here's the way I look at that. If Chase Elliott would have won, then it mattered. So even though you're trying to dumb down winning there, you won there, and you went on. You went on to win Charlotte the Coke 600. You can't apologize for winning Talladega.
No, it's great. Dietz, look up how many cars were running at the end of that last race that Earnhardt won.
The cars go around in circles and everybody's bored with it. Okay, that's what they say. They is everybody. Like you just said it. You said they make laps until the end. You said that. The people are starving for entertainment. So I love Penske and I love Hendrick. I admire them immensely, but they are structured. They don't want their drivers out of hand. They talk, but they're not no Darrell Waltrip. They're not Dale Sr. They're not Sterling. They're not Schrader. Kenny Schrader has all these quips, all these funny sayings. You make us laugh. All these drivers got in trouble years ago because they said, no cussing. So everybody cleaned right up. Carson is the first driver to entertain. People want to be entertained because like you say, Kenny, all they do is they go around in circles. And him putting all that effort of waving to the fans. So just speak to that. The cars go around in circles. They want to be entertained.
And Schrader, if this plays into what you're going to talk about, there were 34 at the end of the race that Dale Sr. won. 3 had kind of wrecked and came back in, so 31 were going all out at the end of it, but there were 34 cars on the racetrack at the end of that race.
Why'd you ask that question, Kenny?
Because I was going to bust on you. Dale restarted.
I know.
16th.
See, I know you.
Dale's going, you couldn't see no one behind you in your mirror. I'm like, huh? But
somebody said to me,
behind him.
I started in front of him.
You started in front of him. So there was more car. Okay, back to that celebration.
He tried, everybody, but he didn't get me. Go ahead.
Didn't restart last. Anyway, I don't know. Carson's doing, NASCAR lightened up a little bit a number of years ago, too, about, hey, have at it, boys. Be yourselves to some extent. And that's a lot to do with sponsors also. But I don't know. Talladega's the same all the time. It's not like they're going like this at Talladega, passing one another and shooting by. So, they're just going barely like this, and one lane moves a little bit, and it's either real close or they wreck. Sometimes they do both.
Okay, so let's wrap it up. It's a horrible race, but they party. It's a good party. It was a great celebration. And then I'm going to add this on. You don't know this, Kenny, but there's a guy named Jason Kelsey. His brother's Travis Kelsey. Both of them are Hall of Fame football players. And there's another world out there that you and I don't know about, because we go to Peevely on Saturday nights for $500 to win for the B-Mods. Jason Kelsey's a superstar. He's got a podcast that has 3 million followers. So he is a huge man. And Rick Hendricks says, okay, he can be the gas man for Corey Day and Junior Motorsports. So they let him play part. He hands the gas can, the second gas can. He hands the second gas can, and they win the race with Corey Day. So you got Jason Kelsey. His brother is marrying Taylor Swift. He's a superstar. Then you got Cletus, who's got right at 5 million followers. So you got Cletus and Jason Kelsey with 8 million new eyeballs, possibly, on our sport. I mean, is that a good thing?
Well, it can't hurt. I mean, it sure can't hurt. The more people that are aware of it, the better.
Then Cletus runs really good. It's ARCA, and everybody says ARCA don't matter because the talent level's so low. Because Cletus can win almost in ARCA, but can't run 30th on Saturdays. So him running good, that's got to be a good thing, because it's ARCA. It's lesser talent. So you got Cletus. The biggest viewership in ARCA history. They put it out there. They showed it. So biggest viewership in ARCA history. He about wins the race. Got a first-time winner. You got Jason Kelsey there with Corey Day. TV's all over it. It's football fans. Fox loves it because it's not Fox, but CW loves it. And then you got Carson Hocevar. So Dietz, Schrader's told us his opinion. What do you think? Does it help the sport?
Well, I definitely don't think it hurts the sport at all. On the ARCA thing with Cletus, I don't know if that says more about Cletus and his driving, or if it says more about ARCA, or if it's a little bit of both. On the Hocevar celebration thing, I do want people to put it in perspective a little bit, because, had I not gone to Darlington, and I told you I saw the Hocevar stuff at Darlington and it surprised me. Had I not gone to Darlington, that reaction yesterday would have surprised me, because I didn't think that many folks liked him. But I can tell you this, Blaney has won at Talladega, Chase Elliott, and got similar reactions, because I remember when they won, and I kind of went back and I was like, wow, this is this is crazy.
Jeff Gluck was
So,
shocked. Jeff Gluck on the teardown said he was shocked that everybody liked Carson Hocevar like that.
Well, I think that something's going on. I think that that this is not like anything that we've seen lately. We've seen it at different times in the sport. I don't like crowning him as Dale Earnhardt, and I think he even said in the press conference yesterday, he said he didn't like those comparisons. I think that's bull because, he painted his car like him at Darlington and he's wearing the cowboy hat and so I think he's playing into it, whether or not he admits it or not. But when you talk about badasses and things like that, Carson Hocevar couldn't carry Dale Earnhardt's helmet. I mean, he really couldn't. You think Dale Earnhardt, if Dale Earnhardt was around, would look at Carson Hocevar and be like, yeah, that guy reminds me of me when I was 25.
Let me interrupt you for a minute. Everybody's nowadays. Our days are over. I mean, because Schrader would have grabbed me by the throat and put me between the trailers and told me what I did wrong. All those guys are nothing like the old days. So, I mean, Kenny, what is your thoughts?
I don't know. He's making himself stand out amongst all the drivers. He's definitely moved up in that top tier. And let's also, that's a pretty new team, Spire, and that was their first win, and he was able to bring it to them. Hey, I want to back up on one thing, though. When you're talking about the ARCA thing, let's don't say it's not lesser talent. It's not lesser talent at all. It's just
I know that. I was just trying to. I know. I was getting your goat because you always with me. So, sorry.
But it wasn't lesser talent. It's earlier. It's just earlier in their career. Most of them. It's earlier in their career. Just like junior high ball, high school football, college ball, and then pro ball. It's just earlier in their career.
Here's what I find out about our sport. When somebody gets too famous and people don't think they should be famous, they want to knock them down. Cletus is super famous, and that irritates a lot of really good drivers. You listen to what Kyle Busch does not like it. He came out and said, my boy's got more races than him. But Kenny, is jealousy kick in when these guys get all this attention?
All right. I'm out. And he's not, you say super famous. It's because you're social media. I never knew who in the hell he was until he came to a race and they said, hey, this guy's famous. Oh, okay. Now I heard of him too. So that's one more person, But, you social media guys, you'll know he's super famous amongst you guys.
I want to interview you for a little bit. Why, you have, that's the new way you promote yourself nowadays. Why do you hate social media so bad? Has it hurt you?
I don't hate it at all. I don't hate it at all. I nothing about it that I hate it. But there's a real world too.
Well, I mean, it's the same thing as being interviewed after a race on TV, isn't it, or not?
Well, no, you're interviewing yourself.
Okay. We'll let it go right there, everybody.
You're interviewing yourself.
I'm speechless. Yeah.
Hey, and real quick before we move on, I do want to say this because, you were talking about how people are now. Let's say they're not as tough. When Kyle Busch came along, I said that guy could have raced with Dale Earnhardt and Rusty Wallace. Jeff Gordon did race against Dale Earnhardt and Rusty Wallace. And people said that Dale Earnhardt could race against Junior Johnson and Curtis Turner and those guys. Carson Hocevar ain't Dale Earnhardt. I'm sorry. He just ain't.
That really bothers you.
And listen, I was not a Dale Earnhardt fan. I mean, obviously, again, pulling for Bill. But people would say, well, what do you think of Dale Earnhardt? And I said, I respect him. I think that he's one of the greatest race car drivers that ever lived. If Carson Hocevar could go out there and win 75 more races, then I might say that about him. But I just, again, like I said, I don't think he could carry Dale Earnhardt's helmet back. I think Dale Earnhardt would laugh at him personally.
Why? You know, it bothered me. It bothered me that Dale Jr. gave Carson Hocevar so much credit. Why do you think Dale Jr. says he reminds me of my daddy a little bit? Why would Dale Jr. do that?
Because he reminds him of his daddy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I see it. I see Dale Sr. I see Dale Sr. there.
I do too.
Yeah. I see him. I see him.
I'm confused. He's not Dale Sr., but you see Dale Sr. What is it, guys?
I didn't say he wasn't Dale Sr.
Yeah, he never did either. No, I'm drawing the conclusion here. It's neither one. It's none of us three. It's everybody. TV. It's Mike Joy. It's the fans. They're the ones saying that. We're reacting to it because he wrecks everybody and does not apologize and continues racing.
Not that he wrecks everybody. Yes, some people have wrecked off the nose of his car. He's always up there. He's going for it. He's right up in there. If there's a hole, he's going to try to get in. He's driving like Senior did. And yes, there's going to be some people get turned around off of his car. How many people, I mean, you can answer this better than me, but he led the last how many laps at Talladega?
Well, they were tied.
I mean, when I say he led the last, he might not have led them all, but he was in that front row, you know?
Oh, yeah. The last 40 laps. They went 40 laps. Yeah.
He kept himself there. That's hard to do.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's capsulate this. I think what we just talked about is it was a really big weekend at Talladega. Let's try to get the show back on track now. A lot of people had a tough time with it being a big week. And it was a big week for every reason we just talked about. We got to give it up. Carson Hocevar is a show, whether we like it or not. They like him because, like you all said, he's got Dale Jr. type deals. I mean, they went as deep as he washing his windshield like Dale Jr. did at Richmond when he was on, you know, that's not us. And we can't get mad about it. So Dietz is just pissed about this.
Well, I just, you know what I think I don't like about it? And it goes back to the Cletus thing too. It feels manufactured.
Well, it is because the racing's boring. The end. I said it. I can't get in trouble. I don't work for nobody, Dietz.
There you go. I mean, it's manufactured, and it's like we want you to buy into this narrative, and I can see it, and I'm like, okay. I like things to happen naturally. Jeff Gordon happened naturally, and listen. A lot of the Hocevar stuff is happening naturally, but then I can look at it from the media side, and I'm like, come on, give me a break.
Okay, we beat it like a dead horse, everybody. We did our best. It was kind of sad because it was a wonderful weekend, and we tried to call on the whole damn thing, and we did. So,
well, I mean, like I said, Talladega is only going to be so exciting till right at the very end, or they wreck. The rest of the time, they're just doing precision driving.
The end, everybody. I've done my best. I've done my best.
I do think it was a great weekend. When you saw the reaction that you saw yesterday, Andy Jankowiak, we hadn't even mentioned him. He won the ARCA race. I think that's a great story because that's a guy who's literally come from nothing. Grew up in the sport. His father got killed in a race car, and he's scrapped and came along and came out there and finally won an ARCA race. And I still think the O'Reilly Series is the best racing in NASCAR. I think it's the best vehicle, and I think it's the best racing in the sport right now.
Okay, So with that, we'll go right there. Switching subjects, everybody. John Probst said we're going to run electric vehicles 4 years from now. Our new president, Steve O'Donnell, addressed it and said, hey, we're going to do some big things. Mixed in with that, did you all see the mile per hours at Talladega in that race? 199, 200. But they ran the whole race like 196 to 199. Kenny, did you know that they were going that fast? I didn't know they were going that fast nowadays.
Yeah, well, I was looking at the telemetry on the TV screen and I could see it.
Yeah, and when they got a good draft, that 201 popped up there like once or twice. But I took pictures. I got them all here. 10 to go. Hocevar is running 196.25. 9 to go. 196.8 for Chase Elliott in fifth. Here we go. Listen to this. As they say, business is picking up. 9 to go again. The leader, Hocevar, 198.65. 9 to go again. Hocevar, 199.75. And that 199 is all the way down to ninth, Ross Chastain. They're booking it. So, God, it makes me think, what if they had more power? They'd be ready. NASCAR obviously wants to keep them under 200. What's your thoughts on that speed, Kenny? Did that catch you off guard?
Well, we never slowed cars down because we were worried about what happened to the driver. I mean, not that NASCAR hasn't worried about that, and they've made that area of the car so much safer. But speeds were always slowed down at those places to control where the cars land when they took off. At Daytona and Talladega, we come off turn 4, we aim the car right towards the grandstands, and then we turn them again in the middle of the grandstands. So, that's why we came up with plates originally after Allison's, which they had them back in the 70s too. But we came up after Allison's wreck in 87. We came up with them, and then they've had something to control the speed ever since then. But it's like anything else. They'll cut them back, and then boys figure out how to get some of that speed back, and then they'll trim them back again. They'll get some of that speed back. Before your brother retired, what do you run? 230 something down there?
228. Yeah, way up in there. We did a Kenny conversation.
228 when they just wanted to see what they could do. It was good. Just means they wreck a little harder. But it don't make much difference you wreck 185 or 200.
So I think we're right there. I think my point is I think they leave the rules alone. But I think if they start seeing that 200 number a little bit bigger, even though they did move the grandstands back, they do got higher fences, both at Daytona and Talladega, like you said, through the trial. I think that's my opinion. You guys think they'll leave the speeds alone?
They might tweak with them a little bit, but that's something you don't even need to talk about. I mean, like for the competitors, if they came out with a little rule change next year to slow them down 5 mile an hour, it's not even news. Everybody goes there and you got a little less horsepower.
Okay. The reason I said John Probst come up, electric vehicles last week, kind of same subject, but a little different, but it all kind of goes together. And this, we're going to roll this into Dale Jr. Same subject, but yet a little different, right? John, Probst says we're looking into the future. He shocks everybody because this is only 3.5 years from now. We're a third of a way into this year, and he's saying 2030, we're going to take the O'Reilly Auto Parts and we're going to be running EVs in it. And then Steve O'Donnell repeats it at Talladega. They said, it was Clint Boyer, Kevin Harvick, and they're interviewing them on the front row, or front, straightaway there. And he goes, yeah, there's some big changes coming up. We got to keep up with it. How the hell are they going to have a battery car go that fast, I wonder? But what's your guys' thoughts on this whole battery thing?
I don't care about the battery thing.
Okay.
But I'll tell you, no, you're going to go to R&R to pick up product, right?
Well, hold on
gonna do that?
1 minute. What I was going to, but I hear what you're saying. But and I'm just having fun with you here. Neil lives right by me, so he's gonna bring it here. But go ahead. My battery won't last to get over there, right?
No, not that. When Phil he'll bring him to you in his Tesla truck.
Yes.
You drive that thing. I'm not a battery guy, but I have never drove a car on the street that has the acceleration that thing has.
The thing hauls ass.
Never.
Boris said, I know how close you and Boris are. He drove for you. Boris said when he was running Pikes Peak, the problem with electric vehicles was gradually getting the power. So they automatically battery, and that's what they say in Formula One right now. They said they come off the corner, that electric has some damn power. Torque. I'm with you, Kenny. Okay, so that
right?
What's that?
Are they saying all electric vehicles? Is that what NASCAR is saying?
Yes, EVs, electric vehicles, not hybrid. To me, it's got to be hybrid, because even if they go 300 miles, I don't think an electric car is going to go 300 miles. So I think if he would have said hybrid, a little bit of gas, a little bit of electric, but he said we're looking at EVs, and I'm like, yeah, how are you going to get an electric car to go 300 miles in O'Reilly? Okay, so this is where my method to madness. So somebody on X, and this is all about Dale Jr. This is all about Dale Jr. right now. Somebody says, hey, Kenny Wallace, what wins on Sunday no longer sells on Monday because you guys don't race cars like we run on the streets. Why does it matter? Why do automakers matter? And I simply responded, cars against cars, pride against pride, Mercedes versus Ferrari, Ford versus Toyota. So listen to what Dale Jr. said. I said cars against cars. Dale Jr. says, I don't buy into this entirely, or at least I've got some questions. The SUV dominates the market at nearly 60% market share, followed by the pickup. Sedans are third and have fallen from 50% to below 20% in the past decade. Why hasn't the Cup Series then morphed into trucks, SUVs? I mean, this is pretty wild out of Dale Jr. But then he goes, decades ago, the cars more resembled the showroom model. We haven't had that since the 90s. How automakers value and utilize the racing industry has evolved and changed. What seems to matter now, more than anything, is eyeballs, and more are pointing towards the O'Reilly series. Now, you see what he did there? He's an O'Reilly owner. He came out earlier and said, if the electric vehicle is coming in, I'm out. He said that before this statement. So, Kenny, sure, what Dale Jr. is saying is we should be racing SUVs. Because that's what he said.
Yeah. We'd have to get all new trailers. We'd have to get all new trailers. They're taller, and it'll take all the, Featherlight builds most of them. It'll take them a long time to get that many new trailers built. So I don't know. It'll be a little bit yet.
Kenny, where are they going to get the money to can all the O'Reilly cars and build all new electric cars? Mike Herman, Jeremy Clements. Well, do you think NASCAR's messing with us? Like just wanting to see how everybody reacts?
It's happened before when we were going to run a whole bunch of street races. You know, back in the maybe early 90s, we were going to run a bunch of street races. Now, they did wind up running one called Temporary Course, and they're going to run another one this year at the Air Force Base. It's a long way from a street course. But who knows? They could be throwing it out there.
I like the hybrid thing that you were saying, Kenny, and maybe that is the waters that they're testing because, you know, IndyCar is basically a hybrid, and I look at it and I'm like, okay, this is like an IndyCar race I watched 10 years ago. In other words, I don't notice the electric part of it. And if they do something like that, but again, they're trying to get more OEMs in, and I think that Honda and Volkswagen and Mercedes and some of these are not interested in NASCAR unless there's some sort of electric aspect to it.
I'm over there in Europe, you know, and I'm kind of saying, is it the government? You know, we talked about this. Is the government the one telling Mercedes-Benz and Ferrari to run these hybrids? And they said, you got to remember, it's the automakers. So I know I already said that last week, but do you think that's where we're at with NASCAR, Kenny? That behind closed doors, these automakers are going, look, guys, we don't sell what you're racing. You guys got to get a little closer. Do you think that could be happening?
Hasn't electric car sales tumbled in the last couple of years?
Yes,
right.
Because there's no Chargers and nobody's buying them.
All right. Next up.
Yeah, okay. All right, I get it. We're done. We're speechless, everybody. It's a wild show.
Yeah, we have nothing to talk about here because we don't know what they're going to do. So we'll wait.
What we do on Herm and Schrader every week is we read all the articles, and those are the topics. And so with that being said, this is a feel-good topic. Jim France, the president of NASCAR, you know, owns it, right? Basically, Jim France owns NASCAR. He says, okay, I'm going to simmer down. I'm going to hand this baby over to the first non-France family member in NASCAR history. Ben Kennedy seems to be okay with it. He makes a nice announcement on social media, and he says, I got Steve O'Donnell's back, excited to work with him. Kenny, you and Mike Helton are good friends. I know you're deep with NASCAR. They will pick up your phone call at any time. What's your just thoughts? Now, this is with love. This is not controversial. Just say something nice. What do you think?
I think I say something nice most of the time, but okay.
you call Ben on everything, Schrader.
Well, no.
Yes.
This is pretty simple. Just going. Ben is going to be the face of NASCAR. You know, Ben is going to be it. And with the France family being part of it, obviously. And Steve O'Donnell has been there how long? Oh my gosh. A long
31
time.
years. 31 years, yeah. He said.
Or he started out like running Victory Lane or something. But he's the guy to put in there, I think, right now.
Yeah, I agree with
when
that.
You got to put some youth in there. He's got a good rapport with a lot of the people in the garage. You know, he talks to them. He listens to them. And that job, you know, and NASCAR's whole thing, you got to listen to everybody. You don't have to agree with them. You don't have to do what they say. You just got to listen to their side and then go back and determine, because you're watching from a whole different angle. You're not a driver. You're not a car owner. You're not necessarily the track owner, even though they own a lot of them. You don't own all of them. You got to look from the very top and see what makes it the best for everybody. And Steve's been in a bunch of those positions.
Dietz, I'm asking you this question because I think you're the person to answer this. He penned a letter to the fans, which I've never, everybody comes out with a mission statement. You know, hey, this is a new company. What's your mission statement? You know, we're going to rule the world. But his was a little different. You know, we're going to get NASCAR back to where it used to be. We're going to listen to everybody. But just him penning a letter as we're a third away into the year, what was your thoughts? Did you see that or not?
Well, I mean, that shows that he gets it. And just like you guys said, you know, he goes back 31 years on various levels. He's got a connection, you know, with the fans that the other Steve, I keep getting
Steve Phelps.
Steve Phelps didn't have it. And, you know, I don't see Steve O'Donnell taking this job because he wants to be the next NFL commissioner. You know, this is the job. And when NASCAR put Mike Helton in the position that they put Mike Helton in, you know, in the late 90s, early 2000s or whatever it was because he was trusted like a family member, like a friend. And I think that Steve O'Donnell is looking at all of this through the right lens. And I think whether or not other people heard it or not, I think he has heard some of the dissatisfaction of the fans over the last 10 or 15 years. And I think that this again, I go back to Jim Hunter. This is a guy in that ilk of Jim Hunter who had that connection with the fans. And I think he'll do great. I think if he keeps, you know, I see no reason why he would skew from what he has always done. And now he's got the authority to you know, kind of honcho some of this stuff into, you know, a direction that the fans want to see it.
I've always teased Mike Helton. I said, Mike, we love you, but you're way taller than all of us. And I tell that to your partner and our partner, Bob Sargent. You know, Bob's tall. I think O'Donnell's got an advantage because he's taller than anybody. There's just something about a tall guy leading. You got to look up to him.
You got to look up to him.
And I'm excited for Steve O'Donnell. And I agree with you, Kenny. I think, you know, the future, I think Ben Kennedy is, you know a lot, but maybe Big Jim France said, okay, Ben, you're just a little too young. Let's have Steve in there. And like you said, Ben will rule NASCAR one day, but I think this is a good team. And speaking about Ben Kennedy, this is another subject that I have on my list. When the race was going on, it reminded me of something Ben Kennedy said. He said, our sport has changed. It's more of an entertainment venue now. And of course, we had fun early in the show, you know, calling bullshit on the race scene, and we need entertainment. But Ben Kennedy said, we got to create an entertainment venue. We talked about the barn inside Talladega. Fans go to the race, they go inside the barn, and they watch the race on TV. Kenny, where the old scoring stand used to be at Talladega, did you see how beautiful that was and what they did with that area? It is unbelievable. If you and I go to Talladega right now, we would not recognize it. They have created this entertainment venue, just like and I haven't been to Phoenix yet since they fixed it, but you and I might have to go to some of these cup tracks. I mean, I go to them, but I do my show and, you know, I get busy. But they are really dressing these cup tracks up, especially the NASCAR side.
Yeah.
Just your thoughts on. Yeah.
No, they've invested money into them for years. I mean, there's tracks that have had a big makeover, and it seems like, well, hell, it just had one 15 years ago, but they made it nicer, you know. So, yeah, it's just good to see that they put a lot back into the sport.
I guess the point was, Dietz, is that they realize the cars going in circles don't do it anymore.
Well, I mean, not for some people. And like I've said this before, if my wife was going to Talladega, she would want to be in the infield, not at this part of our life because of Talladega Boulevard. Maybe when we were in our 20s, absolutely. But, I would want to be in the grandstands watching the race. She would want to be in a nicer place where you can go in and you could cool off and you can get a drink and you could watch it on TV, because she frankly could care less about the race. And, the thing that NASCAR might be looking at with Talladega, which I don't think would be a terrible idea at all, is, you think about big concert festivals and things like that, country music fests and things that they have all over the country at different places. Talladega would be perfect. If you were going to do it anywhere around Tuscaloosa or Birmingham or anything else like that, Talladega would be the place to do it. So improving that infield and making it more user-friendly, it makes it more user-friendly for things outside of racing, possibly. And that's another, way to make some money.
Kenny, is Dietz explaining the Indy 500? Because that's what it is at the Indy 500. They bring in all the musical acts.
Yeah, but they bring in stuff for the 500 weekend. I don't think they don't have a ton of activities in the infield throughout the year. Do they?
No, I just know that they bring. I know Roger Penske. They've had some big acts. Hours before the race, Gretchen Wilson. They packed that infield there.
All our cars have ever done. All NASCAR racing has ever done is cars go around circles. It's all they've ever done. Now, if you take just the on-track part, they're going around circles closer together, more competitive than they ever have. So that part is better. But they're just, reaching out to even make it more enjoyable to the spectators. As far as those cars just going in circles, they're doing that better than they ever have. But
yeah,
we're trying to give people more yet.
And that's what's so good about being Kennedy is, he's trying to incorporate more things into the weekend that would make a person like my wife want to go to a cup race weekend, to where you can almost get kind of the best of both worlds. But the other great thing about being Kennedy is he raced late models. Mm-hmm. He still owns Spencer Davis's late model. He ran K&N, what's ARCA now, so he went to these short track races. All of this stuff with Bowman Gray and Rockingham and things like North Wilkesboro, I don't think any of that stuff happens without being Kennedy. But that's for the race fans. He's also looking out for people that maybe are a more general fan, and I think that's the way that you got to do it.
Man, a shout out to Worldwide Technology Raceway. We talked about it a couple months ago here, but Chris Blair and Curtis Francois, they saw this trend. And it's an entertainment venue, and they will have a race there. It's just the new wave. It's what's going on. One last thing before we here we are an hour into it already. I just still get giddy, Kenny. They went green flag again. They got rained out, no practice. They dropped the green flag for that cup race with zero. I mean, we've done it before, but it's now natural, isn't it?
Yeah, it's no problem. They can do it. These guys have been there. The crew chiefs and the engineers and everything, they know what they need. Yeah, they're not going to hit it maybe exactly all the time, but the cars still go around circle, and they'll come in and they'll work on it. So it just shows us they need less practice and less practice.
All right, everybody. Very unique show today. Very unique show today. I enjoyed it. Schrader and I battled it out. Nobody loves each other as much as we do. Schrader typically will keep me honest, and I enjoy that. It makes for a good show. With that being said, there were some big holes at some racetracks this weekend. Dirt tracks. We had a rough show at Brownstown, but it was good. Ryan Gustin, and then he doubles up down at Farmington. Take it away, Kenny. I mean, those are some highlights for me.
Yeah, well, I was going. I mean, Knox. I think the high limits were off this week, and high limits I think were off, and they were during the week. They were at last week. They were at Eagle in Nebraska, and Outlaws were at Knoxville both nights this week. I know Gravel won Saturday night, I believe, and the Lucas Oil Late Models ran Georgetown, was it? Friday night? They got rained out Saturday, and they ran Hagerstown last night, and Shepherd put a whooping on them.
Probably the biggest ass whooping I've seen in dirt racing in a long time.
Pretty big.
He killed them.
Yeah. So there was a lot of, so we had some rain outs, but there was still some good racing.
It's that time of the year, man. They've had tornado warnings all around St. Louis all day long. They say it's going to end around 9 o'clock, but up around St. Louis, it's been pretty rough. We've been real lucky here in Arnold. We haven't got a drop of rain, but I could see the clouds. I'm glad I'm not up that way. How you faring, Kenny, out there in Dittmer?
I wasn't here all day, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Have to go look around. Have to ask the guys.
Is it raining there? No.
No, I don't think it is now.
No rain. Yeah. Okay, everybody, it is that time. What did Dietz? It's time for jokes, but it reminds me of David Letterman. What was that? The fun, silly top 10 or something like that? You know, that's kind of what I think about our jokes.
Yeah, he would do the top 10. I think Earnhardt read it one year.
He did.
After the year he won the Daytona 500.
So tell me some dumb jokes.
I can definitely do that. Okay, so we know this is not a joke based off my life experience, so because I don't have a girlfriend. How did I know my girlfriend thought I was invading her privacy? She wrote about it in her diary.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm laughing at it. Okay. Hey, here's one. This is totally random that this happened too. Why did the electric car feel discriminated against? Because the rules weren't current.
You got a deep thinker, but that is funny.
All right, and here's the last one. I'm such a good navigator, a self-driving car once asked me for directions.
Sounds like a lady.
Ooh. Can you imagine?
Hey, you know what? Whenever I was...
Go ahead.
What?
Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, me and my family, when the boys were on spring break, we went to Atlanta. You wouldn't realize there's a lot of stuff to see in Atlanta. You'd be like, why do you go on vacation in Atlanta? But, you got Coca-Cola and the aquarium and the Delta Museum.
Is Six
and all
Flags
kind of
still
stuff.
there in Atlanta? Used to be off 75 or something like that.
Yeah, I don't,
It's off
60.
know.
20 between Atlanta and Birmingham.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. But the reason I bring this up is because we Ubered a lot of different places and stuff like that. And we took a self-driving car, which was unfathomable to me to see a car going around with that. What we were going to do was I was going to put my 12-year-old in the driver's seat so people would be, thinking he was driving, but the car wouldn't allow you to do that. But it was just as smooth as silk.
Down in Austin, Texas, Jose Castillo, who is the voice of, Bruton's or Marcus Smith's tracks. We go downtown Austin around lunchtime, and have some tacos and have a good time. And all of a sudden, here's all these taxi cabs with nobody in them, and people were getting in them. And come to find out, Austin, Texas is also the home of Tesla. But it is amazing.
The boys asked me, they said, if we could get to Atlanta in a self-driving car, would you do it? And I was like, it's a lot different going around the city at 30 miles an hour as opposed to being on the interstate going 80 with nobody driving. So I was like, I don't think I'm quite there with self-driving cars on the interstate just yet.
Kenny, will we be better off in life with insurance, and will there be less wrecks? You know, the common person doesn't even know what a car is. They have one, and they're like, I don't know enough. You know, you talk to the normal people, and they're like, they don't even know what their car is about. Will we be better for cars that just go where you want and you ride along?
I don't know. I'm still thinking about a 25 car wreck in the O'Reilly's EV series and having to go down there and wrap up all them cords.
That's what everybody, all the people come up to me. And I was at Peevely on Saturday night, and one guy, he comes to me and he's focused. Kenny, I want to ask you something. What happens when they all wreck? What's going to happen with the... Now, don't laugh, everybody. Kenny Schrader's right. I'm sure they come up to Schrader like they come up to me. All the NASCAR fans at the dirt tracks. What are they going to do with the batteries when they wreck? I said, well, I think they're going to have that figured out. Yeah. Formula One's racing with batteries right now. Engine, you know, they got one battery in there, so... All right, everybody, we did our best. We stroked this baby out to 1 hour. Kenny, what are you doing this weekend?
I'm meeting you Thursday night at Sonoma, California. Except this comes out Wednesday. I'm getting on my bike Tuesday. And it's only 1 day and 6 hours out there. But then I got adding up hours, so that's 30-hour ride out there.
Where do you think you're going to stop, or do you even know?
When I get real tired.
I got you. Man, that's another subject. Just trying to, you know, back in the day, you could just pull over and get yourself a hotel room. These damn hotels nowadays, it's like, how do they're packed. You know, every time, we'll just pull over and get a hotel. But it's, okay, well, I'll be thinking about you. I'll check on you. I'm the same with Kenny. We are all headed for the Kyle Petty charity ride, where they raise between $1.5 and $2 million for children at the Victory Junction Gang Camp. And boy, we sure do like this. And I will be flying with your wife on United Airlines. We'll meet you out there.
Yeah. Yeah.
As Fred Sanford would say, you big dummy. Stay safe, and I love you.
Love you.
All right, Dietz. Is that it, Dietz?
Yeah, that's it. Even with what I'll have to edit out, we should be able to get an hour.
Oh, yeah,
here.
we did it. Okay.
I may have to edit myself out.
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of
We'll see.
editing on this show. They're going to be in shock when they listen to this one.
Yeah.
Hey, tell me how much
Dietz did
editing
it
did you
again.
just send me a text.
How much editing
I'm
they
sure
do?
I did it again,
I do
too.
the edit. Yeah, I do the edit, and then I send it to them, and they're like, "Ooh, maybe you should have cut another 10 minutes out of there."
Okay, everybody. Well, they like the show, so that's that, and we're different. Remember, everybody, we say it at the end of every time. If you want to see Kenny Schrader's pretty face and Dietz, that's on the Kenny Wallace YouTube show where you can see us. And then, of course, on Dirty Mo Media Podcast. That's Dale Jr.'s place over there for podcast. Until the next Herm and Schrader show, see you next time, everybody.
Bye.